Did you ever wonder how the legends of street photography just got so many great images, and they were using cameras that, by today's standards, are completely subpar? Well, aside from the fact that they were just supremely talented, the trick that most of them use to get the images they got went as fast as they got them, and with focus being nailed so often. It's called zone focusing. Again, zone focus. Again, it sounds so intimidating. I was frustrated by again, how to do it for the longest time. I had autofocus cameras. I had good manual focus cameras. I thought that I was a good photographer, but for some reason, I was just couldn't get the hang of it. I just couldn't grasp zone focusing. It seemed easy, but again, I just didn't trust. Something was wrong. It didn't sit right. And then one day, I just figured I'm going to work this thing out. It turned out it's actually just as easy as I thought it should be, but again, it was just the fear of the unknown. Well, let me put this down. I'll break this down on this whiteboard, which will be a little bit less white in a minute, and using the camera, which I will put some close-ups on later. So imagine, and remember, I'm a photographer, not a graphic artist. Photographer with whether that's your phone or a really malformed camera. So you're right there. You say your subject is right there. Using this, say if we went to your focus on this person, say that he is 15 feet away. This is a 35mm lens. At f2, you would be looking at, basically, that's your zone of focus. This person over here, out of focus. Now, you change it to, say, f8, which is where I typically keep my camera set. And again, at 15 feet, now you're looking at, let's see, your near focus is about 8 feet there, and it's going all the way to infinity. So everything back that way is in focus. But in this particular case, since it's focused from a near point to infinity, it's also called hyperfocus. But either way, your zone of focus, in this case hyperfocus, is everything from about 8 feet all the way back to infinity. Now, for a different case, say you want this person moved, you have a person right here. They're at 8 feet, as we said. So now if you had changed and pre-focused at 8 feet, at f8, you'd have from 6 feet to 15 feet, which is right here. So now anybody in between 6 feet and 15 feet are in focus. Anybody beyond that is out of focus. Anybody closer is out of focus. So that would be your zone of focus. So if you set your camera at f8 and pre-focus at 8 feet, as you're walking down the street, you see something, you pick it up in your eye, you know that's a fairly wide zone. You pick it up, you don't worry about are they in focus or not. You know they're in focus, you just worry about your composition. Same thing with your hyperfocal. If you had set it at 15 feet, you have again 8 to infinity. So anybody from 8 feet to here is in focus. It's technically the only person truly in focus, in sharp focus, is the person at 15 feet. Everybody else is what they call acceptable focus, and it's just like it sounds. Like if you're trying to be totally critical, they're not 100% sharp. But they're as sharp as, again, the images you saw that you admired of Bresson, of Winogrand, and again, pretty much just about anybody else you can think of. So again, there's another example. Say if you wanted, some people like to shoot at f11. Let's see, at f11. Let's hyperfocal at f11. So that would be, that goes from about 6 feet from here at f11. Goes from 6 feet all the way to infinity. It's hard to mess that up. you have that set. If you have enough light, you obviously have to make sure that your shutter speed is correct. So that's not, again, you have to know how to do that. But as long as you have the correct exposure and you have your aperture set and you're focused using the guides, you can't help but get these in focus. So that, in a nutshell, is zone focus. And I'm happy to, again, if you have any questions in the comments, leave them below. Again, if this is helpful, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.